New footage of a shipboard blast that injured 8 firefighters. A firefighter dragged 100 yards by a suspected drunk driver. Pictures of a vandalized firefighter memorial. A firefighter's death after surgery officially being ruled an LODD. There was a lot going on in the fire service world this week. I'm Janelle Foskett, the editor-in-chief of FireRescue1.com, here to break down the top stories of the week. So let's jump right in. On Monday, we shared new footage of the explosion that injured 8 Jacksonville firefighters battling a cargo ship fire in Florida. This is the first time we had seen the moment of the blast, which literally blows part of the roof off the ship. Jacksonville Fire Chief Keith Powers also shared an update on the status of the injured firefighters, saying some of them suffered severe burns and would be out of service for a long time. We wish them a speedy recovery. In Billings, Montana, a firefighter was dragged approximately 100 yards by a suspected drunk driver. The incident occurred when the driver drove through a marked-off area and a firefighter reached into the driver's side window to stop him. The driver hit the accelerator and the firefighter held on for about 100 yards until the driver finally stopped. The firefighter was treated at the scene. There were several big news stories this week related to the recent civil unrest following the death of George Floyd, as well as stories related to racial injustice in the fire service. In Fort Worth, Texas, a police and firefighter memorial was vandalized with tags related to the protests against police violence. And the USFA released new guidance for firefighters responding to civil unrest. The guide, which is available for download on FireRescue1, includes recommendations for how to best prepare crews, the station, apparatus, and community members for times of social discord. And in Rhode Island, a Black firefighter says he was racially profiled by police officers who approached him with guns drawn. The firefighter was dressed in full uniform with radio in hand and was sitting in a car outside his own fire station when police confronted him and searched the vehicle. After reviewing the body cam footage later, a Providence police sergeant visited the fire station to apologize to the firefighter. One other article I'd like to mention on this topic came to us from a volunteer fire chief in New York, Andrew Sequel, who shared a personal message asking firefighters to acknowledge the systemic racism that exists within the fire service so that we can begin to change it. He writes, "Of course all lives matter, but people of color, Black lives, are the ones who we are focusing on right now due to centuries of discrimination and the ongoing systemic racism." The article has generated considerable discussion and debate, and we encourage you to make your voice heard, always in a respectful manner. Additionally, the IFC announced on Thursday that it's forming a Fire Chiefs Equity and Inclusion Council to address racial inequities in the fire service. IFC President Gary Ludwig said, "We need to start listening to each other, really listen, not only to the words, but the emotions and conviction." Switching gears, we got word this week that the death of Colorado fire investigator Joshua McDonald has officially been ruled a line-of-duty death. McDonald suffered a serious leg injury at a 2016 fire scene and had endured multiple surgeries, including having his leg amputated. He died this April following one of those surgeries, and the USFA put out the notification this week that it will officially be considered an LODD. The last news story I'd like to mention is about comedian Pete Davidson, who lost his FDNY father, Scott Davidson, on 9/11. Davidson has enlisted firefighters to star in his upcoming movie, The King of Staten Island. John Sorrentino, who worked with Davidson's father in Brooklyn, said director Judd Apatow wanted the fire department elements to be as close to reality as possible, so the team ultimately cast 5 real-life New York City firefighters, including Sorrentino, in the movie. That's this week's Fire Rescue 1 Roundup. Of course, this is just the tip of the news iceberg, so visit FireRescue1.com to stay on top of the latest events around the country. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Be safe and take care.